What's up, everybody? Back in the building. It's a new week, and it's early. We're doing a show on Monday because we're making it happen, Captain. We're in the building right now. Now, you're probably like, I don't know who you are, guy. It's a Monday. I don't recognize you. Who are you? It's a great question. Well, let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I'm the publisher of Short Fuse Media Group, the founder of Freestyle Comics, one half of the good, the bad, and the nerdy, the most enthusiastic person in comics, sometimes going by the alias of the Super Mad Brother, but also your host today and every day that there's an episode of Chat and Draw, Mike Watson. In the building, here we are. I got the pad, I've got the Apple Pen popping, I've got the screen set up, and today I am feeling accomplished. I've been knocking out tons of work. Today, I got my Tim the Tool Man Taylor on today. I repaired the mailbox. I fixed the kitchen table. I fixed the vacuum. All with my hands, like a man. And I'm choking like one. But we're here today, man. And I'm super excited for this episode today. Daniel Caliban's in the house. What's up? J-Man, what up? What up, Mike? This is the best part of my day besides waking up in the morning. Oh, my goodness, J-Man, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You making me blush, man, and that's hard to do. I appreciate that a lot. We are now streaming live on Facebook and Twitch for everybody's enjoyment. And my wife is teasing me. She just dropped down the spaghetti. Oh, it smells good. But we're streaming live on Twitch. I want you guys to give me a follow on the Facebook, all that stuff, so you can keep up with the episodes. If you're a creator and you want to be on this show, hit up the Short Fuse Media page. Matter of fact, let me hit you. Hit that page up, because the way to get on there is on our store. And we have two options. We have a digital, black and white, and we have a full color option. So hit that up if you want to be on the show. Now, why am I so excited to be on the show? So excited that I can't stop coughing. It's because we got somebody, good friend of mine, an excellent creator. He's out here, people. He's out in these streets working. He's got his pen working, his pencil working, his brush working, his illustrator working. He's got it all working because he does it all himself. One-man army on a book. You know what? Without further ado, let's quit playing games. Let's get into the tradition of... Here comes a new challenger! Mike Lanston, everybody!
What's up, man? What's up, Mike? Hey, man. Columbus, Ohio, and Atlanta, Georgia in the building. First and foremost, I got to say how happy I am that you opened up your platform, let me on your show. Hey, I know you're a busy man. You wear a lot of different hats, have a lot of different responsibilities. You know, you're a penciler at Hot Shot. You got FSK responsibilities, overseeing all the books. You're doing some publishing work over there at Short Fuse Media. Family, man. You fixing tables. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got stuff to do, man. You let me on your platform, and you lent me some of your time, and I really do appreciate that, man. I really do.
Hey, man, it is no problem at all. I saw on the interwebs you had a brand new issue drop, and I was like, man, we got to get this dude on the show. Brand new issue. Let's get it out here. Fourth book. Tell everybody, what is it that you actually make? What is this, man? What is this called?
All right, guys. So I have a comic book series, a currently ongoing comic book series right now called Master of the Edge. And it's a story about a young kid who inherits a magic weapon, and he has to use it to stop his girlfriend's kingdom from being destroyed by an evil warlord. technically she's not his girlfriend yet, but he's trying to make that happen. But it's pretty much an all ages appropriate story. It's got a little bit of something for everybody, and I really think it's something that anybody can enjoy if they pick it up. So it's available right now in both print and digital format on Indie Planet. So just go to Indie Planet if you are interested in a nice fantasy/adventure story, and pick up a copy in either print or digital format.
Awesome, man. This is a great book. I have the #1 issue already. I fell behind on a couple issues, but we saw the 4th issue was out, and I went ahead and we swooped them all up. So I'm just waiting for them to get delivered to my house so I can go on that reading binge.
Yeah, man.
Comparative to Netflix or whatnot. But tell us about who do you have me drawing today?
Okay, so actually I have you drawing the lead character, Bear. This is something I've been kind of struggling with, because I know your drawing skills, and I know you can bring it, Mike. And I was thinking of all kinds of characters you could draw, because I guess for the most part, when people come on your show, they probably have you draw their favorite character, right? Not necessarily just the main character. So I said, King Scooter has always been one of my favorite characters, because he's a badass. He's a seasoned veteran. He can kick anybody's ass. But at the end of the day, man, I was just I was basic, man. I just let you go with the main character because I honestly think the main character, after a lot of thought and consideration, is my favorite character, because he's very young, he's very naive, he's like an open book, and there's lots of room for him to grow. Whereas King Scooter's already lived his life, and the way he is the way he is, and that's the way he's gonna be for the rest of the series. But Bear he's opened up to a lot more character development to come. So honestly, man, at the end of the day, he's my favorite, and I'd be honored if you draw his character, man. And I'm excited to see what you bring to the table, man, because I love your work, Mike. So
Well, I appreciate it very much so, man. I was wondering who you were going to have me draw. There's a variety of characters in this story. It's a really awesome fantasy story. Why don't you give everybody the elevator pitch for it?
Yeah, so we touched on it a little bit in the beginning, but this is a young kid. He's an aspiring explorer, and he gets hated on a lot by the kids in his class. And in issue 1, one of the things he kind of seeks to do is to go out and prove that he's kind of a worthwhile person. Go find some ancient relics from some land that has yet to be discovered, or just prove that he's a worthwhile explorer. And basically everybody in his class, including his own teacher, says, you need to give up that dream, man. That's corny. You need to find something better and more realistic to do with your life. Like, maybe you should study to be a doctor, a lawyer. And you know what? Bear ain't having it. He's not having that. But that's part of his character, and that's also one of his flaws, is that he's ambitious, but he's extremely over-ambitious. And a lot of times he bites off way more than he can chew. So maybe in this quest to kind of prove his classmates wrong, it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows, man. He's going to fail. He's going to fail hard sometimes, and he's going to get challenged again, and hopefully he'll succeed. But, he might even fall in love a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But that's what this is about.
A little bit.
A little bit, man. That's what this story is about. But basically, there's a kingdom right now that's on the brink of peril, because there's an evil warlord looking to take over that kingdom and kind of uproot everything and take over their resources. And Bear is gonna have to step up, man. He's gonna have to use that magic sword that he inherited from King Scooter to stop this guy if he wants his girlfriend's kingdom not to get destroyed. So, that in a nutshell, man, that's what this is about. And I honestly, and I'm not just saying this as a creator, I honestly think this story gets better and better and better with every issue. And I know that's biased. I know it is. But look, man, I'm just being 100% honest, man. Every time I drop a new issue, I'm looking, I was like, you know what? I think that's better than the last issue. So I would be honored if y'all, are along for the ride with me, and you pick up these 4 issues that I currently have available and just, read them, see what you think, and hell, give me some feedback. Reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. I'd love to know what you guys think.
All right. So, well, actually, if you look in the comments, I've already dropped the link for the book in the comments. So, also, it's popping up right here for my Twitch. Buy the book here. Click on that link. Copy your book right there. Let me see here. Do I have it? I already used it. Short Fuse Media Group is on our Facebook page. Buy the book here. I'm trying to keep up with all our pages, make sure I'm checking all the comments. And I am about to get to the comments here in a second. Jay said, hi, Mike's wife. I'll tell her you said hi, Jay. Nick Graves. Mike is a man. Thank you very much, Nick. Digging the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle posters in the background. Oh, yeah. You got the throwbacks on there in your background, Mike.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So I have not been actually looking at the comments yet because, as I was explaining to Michael Watson before, I'm a boomer trapped in a millennial's body, and I still have to figure some things out. This is the first time I've ever done a live stream on Facebook, so I'm gonna get right though. But yeah, I'm glad you're appreciating my Ninja Turtle swag in the background, man. Oh, you see this?
Oh yeah.
Don't forget that. Right now, I'm in my Ninja Turtle sewer with Michael Watson.
That's what's up.
I think what I need to do, Mike, is go to your page so I can see some of these incoming comments, so I'm not lagging behind.
Oh no, you're fine. If you can you not see them on our page?
Oops, never mind.
Haley says, "Are you serious? Just call it the interwebs." Yes, I did. Brad says, I haven't checked the series out yet. I'll add them to my next Indie Planet order. Oh, Brad, you're a guy that likes a lot of comic books. You're definitely going to enjoy this one. Brad consumes, well, actually, Haley and Brad consume indie comic books. They are readers extraordinaire. They love the stuff.
Good. That's what we appreciate.
Haley says, is there any of you in the bear? Like, did you have people telling you couldn't do things and you were or wish you were like the bear? So is any of your characteristics in the bear? It's a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. I let my parents read the story and they were like, is bear you? Is that what this is? Is that you? And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie about that. There's a lot of me inside him.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, he keeps a sketchbook so that he can document all the things that he's found and discovered along his journey and his travels. He keeps a sketchbook. He's an artist, kind of like me. I've had a lot of people in the class and teachers tell me that you need to stop drawing and paying attention, which is fair. You're in class to learn. But, anybody who knows me from like way back in the day, elementary school, middle school, high school, they'll read that character and they'd be like, yeah, there's a lot of Mike kind of injected into this character right here. So I'm not even gonna lie about that. You were 100% correct. It is what it is.
J-Man says, what I like about this show is weekly there is not only diversity, but also variety, not just superheroes. But my question is, what is your inspiration for your comics?
Oh, man, that's actually a really good question. What's the inspiration for my comics? Or if you're talking about inspiration for just making comics, then, man, I honestly, okay, if you want to go way back, as you can see, I got all the Ninja Turtle swag in my room. Ninja Turtles is what made me want to start drawing in the first place. It is what it is. I mean, I have a lot of those original Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird comic books, and when I was a kid watching Saturday morning cartoons and seeing a lot of the 80s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episodes come on TV, I mean, that really kind of made me want to draw, like, for real. Like, every kid draws, every mom has like a pack of crayons laying around, just some paper to shut you up. She says, here, just take this, go draw somewhere, and every kid kind of draws a little bit, but then they fall off. But like, no, like, Turtles, that franchise meant so much to me, and that's really what made me want to draw and create my own stories, man. Like, that's what got me into it. And then to take it one step further, to kind of elaborate on that question even more, this particular story right here, Master of the Edge, is not just a story that I came up with, back in 2015 when I actually started officially like writing and developing the concept art and all that kind of stuff. This story is basically a culmination of all these characters that my brother and I used to draw when we were kids. Starting in elementary school, we just started drawing these characters and we started coming up with all these storylines for them. And, I honestly have about 10, 11, 12, I don't know, maybe even 15 issues of old school comics that I drew on old crappy computer, like 90s computer paper with the little tear off parts on the sides.
Yeah.
Stapled together, drawn with color pencil and crayon and Sharpies. I mean, the colors are fading, but I never got rid of those things. But what happened is that, go to high school, went to college. I just didn't really touch that stuff for the longest time. And then I think it was Dragon Con 2014 here in Atlanta. We went to Dragon Con, and then my artist comrades, my group of art friends, Page 14 crew, that's a group I'm affiliated with my publishing. We were sitting down after having gone to a couple of panels, and they were like, dude, you know all that stuff that you were sitting on? Like, you really need to do something with that. You need to create a story, and you need to bring your story out of retirement, because, we know that you're a passionate storyteller. We know that you're a passionate artist. You need to quit playing around with these little one-shot illustrations, man, and just hit the ground running with your story. And I know that's a long story, and I wish I could have made it shorter, but honestly, that was kind of like the inspiration and the path that led to me creating Master of the Edge, the story that you guys see now. I appreciate that question, man. I appreciate that.
If the story was any shorter, I think it would not be the definition of the show, which is to chat and draw.
Fair enough.
They wanted to know, my man.
Fair enough. You know what? I'm gonna just be filling in some gaps here and there, man, because I know Mike will get to certain points where he's concentrating on that drawing, man. So I might have to do a little chatting myself, man. I might have to pick up the slack on that.
And Jay, man, thank you very much for the compliment about the show. I try very hard to make sure we have a variety of creators and also just people that I'm a fan of as well, but new content that I have not had the pleasure of knowing about. So and I discover it here on the show, and I try to make sure that there is a variety of different people on here. What I like. Brad says, if it weren't for you, Ren and the Lucius Hammer creator, I wouldn't have found so many fantastic indie titles. Thank you all. No problem, Brad. No problem. That's the purpose of the show. Victor Dandridge in the building. Big D, Masters of the Edge casting call. Who voices your characters in your ultimate cartoon wish list? Go, Mike Lance.
Oh man. All right. So I'm just now seeing this, right? Because like I said before, I'm not tech savvy at all. So what I did is I picked up my phone, opened up the chat in your Facebook page. I turned down the volume so that it wouldn't interfere with our video. So I'm just now seeing Victor's comments and everybody else after him. Mm-hmm. So I'm reading it. So Vic says, Master of the Edge casting call. Who voices your characters in your ultimate cartoon wish list? All right. So I've only thought about this like partially. I haven't thought this all the way through, but I have thought of some characters. This is more fantasy because a lot of these actors and actresses have aged already, and their voices might not be appropriate for like the younger characters. But for Bear, I'm still undecided. I have not decided because he is my favorite character and he's near and dear to my heart, and I'm gonna need somebody who's gonna bring it. And I was thinking might have to go the Boondocks route where you get a woman to play the two young boys' voices because she can probably last a little bit longer doing that higher pitched voice. I'm thinking that might be the go-to choice for Bear, but nobody in particular. All right. So I do have an issue 0. A lot of people do not know that. It's not out yet, but I have content for issue 0 where we talk about what happened with King Scooter's father. And I'm thinking I want King Scooter's father to be Russell Crowe. And the current King Scooter the third, to be somebody along the lines of maybe like a Michael Fassbender. I like that type of voice. All right. And then for Lazara, the princess, I was always thinking that maybe like if you had like a really young Sophia Bush, Sophia Bush from what's that show? It was kind of like Dawson's. Jesus, my girlfriend watches it and I can't think of the name of the show. One Tree Hill. Tree Hill. The little brunette hottie, One Tree Hill. Mm-hmm. If you have like a young, her voice is like, it's like cute, but it's like a little bit raspy, a little bit. That's the voice I need for Lazara. All right. And a lot of the other characters, I haven't really thought them out yet, but that's my core right there, man. That's a good question, man.
It is a good question. I dig your answer. The actual thought that you put into the ones that you have confirmed.
Yeah, and I'd like to just point out before I go to the next one that I see Nick Grievous is in the chat. I see that. It says Nick Grievous is watching you. Nick Grievous is somebody I went to high school with. He has been very supportive of my artwork. He's come to my shows. at the exhibits and bought actual like pages, like physical copy pages of the artwork. And
nice.
I've got some pictures with him holding up the artwork on Facebook. But yeah, man, big shout out to Nick Grievous, man. I really do appreciate all the support he's shown me. He's shared a lot of my my videos, like reposted a lot of my pictures and stuff, man. I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate those reshares, because everybody knows, man, sharing is caring.
It is. It is.
Man. Brad Arney, I appreciate you, man. You're talking about how you want to check this out on Indie Planet. I really do appreciate that, man. I sincerely hope you do. You know, like, I feel like you will enjoy it. I feel like you will enjoy it, man. There's something in this series for everybody. And that's just not a catchphrase, man. I know that sounds like a catchphrase. That sounds just like a broad statement, but I really do, honestly do believe that.
No, I don't think it's a broad statement. I don't think it's a broad statement. You're being honest. You put a lot of work into the book. You put a lot of time into the writing and things like that. And I think us as creatives, we're in a very amazing time right now with all the things that are coming out that we are influenced by it, and we want to be on that level. And, you know, we want to recreate the things that, you know, made us happy as kids or whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, if it's true, it's true. It's not just a catchphrase. If it's true, it's true. I mean, J-Man right there, man, he knows what I'm talking about. I'm big on TMNT. I just picked up the NECA original animated figures for only $25.
Oh, nice.
I didn't realize they were that inexpensive, because I've been meaning to get those for a while, but I guess I just kind of assumed they were expensive. All 4 Turtles and Bebop and Rocksteady. The figs are sweet. Best versions they've ever made. Amen, man. I've seen that stuff on Instagram. That stuff looks dope. There's no comparison. I mean, if I had to choose, it would be between the original releases, the ones that kind of came out like right before the original 80s cartoon, the ones that Eastman and Laird were doing a lot of the designs for, I guess, too. And then these NECA original figures, man, because I mean, I don't know, man. Those are dope.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
I had this discussion, and we're going to get to the rest of the comments because Victor is bringing up some things that we're going to segue into.
I just saw it. I just saw it.
As a toy collector, so if you do buy those toys from the store, that's how much they cost. That's how much they're supposed to cost. Yeah. The scalpers buy all of them, and then the prices get skyrocketed, which is ridiculous. It's why I stopped buying Marvel Legends, because I can't never get the ones I want to get at the store.
Yeah.
But what? Now, I asked Ren McKenzie this too, and we both agree. There have been at least 9 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toy lines, at least 9 of them.
Yeah.
Which ones overall have the best sculpt and the best playability? Which sets of Ninja Turtle toys have the best sculpt yet and still the best playability?
Okay, now we're talking facts, Mike. You're asking me to be objective, and I don't know if I can actually do that with TMNT. I'll try my best, but honestly, like, I wouldn't say I collected. When I say I collected, basically what I mean is that my mom bought me a bunch of toys when I was a kid. So my mom shelled out a lot of money for toys when I was a kid. So what I remember is the series of toys that were based around the cartoon series in the 80s that went into the early 90s. And those toys were dope, but I don't know if I'm being objective here. I don't know if I could say those were the best sculpts and the best playability, man. I snapped off a lot of limbs with those toys, man.
You got to be objective, because they're not. They are not.
They're not. It's just I'm reflecting on nostalgia here. I don't know, man. There was the 2003 cartoon, I think 2003. And by that time, I wasn't doing any kind of toy collecting or anything like that. So I'd be interested to know if you collected those, if you know how those work. Yeah. I mean, now we're just bragging at this point, man. I've seen some of your pictures on Instagram and Facebook. Now. I know your toy game is off the chain, but you're not to embarrass me like that, man.
Now, if I got to say, if unbiased opinion, in all honesty, I believe it is the 2003 cartoon, the one that's CGI.
Yeah.
That was on for like 6 seasons.
Oh, that's like the 2012 one, right?
Is that the 2012? Yeah.
Yeah, that's 2012, because the 2003 one was the one where they actually had like no pupils.
Okay. The 2012 CGI cartoon.
Yeah.
That cartoon series has the best toy line. The toys are for balance. They are the best sculpt,
Yeah.
and they are the best posable Ninja Turtle toys to actually play with. I gave my son my old set because I got him a Ninja Turtle play set, and we made a custom one or whatnot.
Yeah.
And I was playing with him, and I was making all these badass poses. I was like, man, these is the joints. Now I got my favorite sculpts. Don't get me wrong, because those NECA Ninja Turtle movie toys are my favorite sculpts.
Yeah.
But those are the ones that hold it down the best. I had to go find another set of them, man.
I feel like those NECA ones based off the original 1990 movie. I mean, I feel like I'd be afraid to take those out of the package. And if I did take those out of the package, I would just put them up on a little stand and let them stand there just for display. I don't know if I would actually like really mess with them that much, man, because those things are a work of art. Like I wouldn't want to damage that at all.
Hey, a little trade secret, and then I'll dive back into the indie stuff, and we got some comments here that are waiting for us. One of my closest friends I went to college with, he sculpted the Ninja Turtle NECA movie toys.
Are you serious? Wait, are you getting some kind of hookup or something?
No, I'm not getting no hookup, but it's the fact of the matter that I watched him in college make Ninja Turtle toys, and I've watched his skill grown this whole time, and now he's fucking sculpting the NECA Ninja Turtles. And
oh my God, man, that level of that attention to detail and that level of craft is absurd to me. Like, I don't even know that to me, to be able to sculpt those things, those toys, that 1990 NECA Ninja Turtle movie based toys series, those things have like the pores in the skin, man. They have the dents in the skin. That level of attention to detail, that it almost makes me want to hate on the dude. You know what I'm saying? It almost like Joe Mad when he was working on X-Men when he was like, what, like 16, 17?
Yeah.
That makes me mad.
Hey.
No, I'm not hating on them.
I'm with you, man, because they're excellent. But all right,
you sell your soul to the devil to be that good at what you do,
dude.
How are you that good?
It's just like you're so good at making your book, man. We practice every day.
I like how you brought that back around. You know what I'm saying? I do appreciate that.
Practice every day. We are drawn every day.
Yeah, I mean, it is an everyday thing, man. It's like the grind never stops. And don't you know? I don't want to come over here and be fake and everything. I'll tell you guys 100%. Like, just because I'm smiling, I'm happy to be on here with Mike on a show and everything like that. But don't get me wrong. There are days, man, when I want to tear my hair out, where like drawing, man, coming up with a comic book, it's almost like it's not practical or something. Like the art, just the practice of bringing out a comic book, doing all the writing and the drawing, you know, something about it almost seems like it's just not a practical, reasonable effort. But maybe that's what makes it so much more rewarding when you actually get the book produced and out there on the shelves or the internet or wherever you sell it. Because, you know, like I was just having a conversation with somebody, I think in the ICC comics creator group on Facebook. And we were talking about, you know, what it's like just bringing out a comic book. And we're not slopping together Big Macs. And 30 seconds or less. This ain't fast food. You know, like what we do is very tedious. You got to be very meticulous, very thorough. You know, sometimes I swear to God, there are days where I swear I spend more time erasing than actually putting actual pencil lines on the paper. But I mean, and there are days where I'm like, man, I'm not doing this. I quit. I'm not doing this anymore. And then, you know, you pull your big boy pants up, you get back on the horse, you know what I'm saying? You get back to the drawing table, you keep it pushing, you get the issue out, and then like that, it's like this burst of positivity, man. It's almost like it just washes away all that negativity that you had in the past when you were like working on it, where you just said, man, this is too much work. I don't know, man. It's just making comics is tough, but it's extremely rewarding when you see it in print. It's extremely rewarding.
Absolutely. And I saw that comment in the thread, and I started to type out something, and I was like, man, I don't even want to get into it. I'm not going to go back and forth because I didn't dig the comment at all. I don't think comic books are the fast food of the industry of anything or whatnot. Even in the mainstream, it was like, are you failing to realize that most of these books are done months ahead of schedule? And they're still late because there are people who are like really putting in work on these comic books. Like, I was like, man, I just had to walk away because I took it a little bit personal.
I see what you're saying, man. I see what you're saying. Oh, so are you? I guess you're referring to the comment that was posted underneath mine, or
Yeah.
oh yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
So
But
Haley,
you're right, though. I agree with you 100%. A lot of the times, well, we do it. We indie guys do it a lot too. I mean, I'm doing it. I'm sure you do it. Everybody's done this. You know, you kind of let yourself have a buffer zone, and you get ahead. You get ahead of schedule. You say, okay, I'm going to produce X amount of issues. And then once I get to this point, then I'm going to release issue 1. You know, so it's exactly what you're saying, man. You know, a lot of these things are done well ahead in advance. You know, it's not just like, oh, I get issue 1, boom, let's bring it out. There it is. No. There's way more planning than that. There's way more that goes into it.
All right. Haley says, so are any of these old one-shots going to see the light of day?
Any of the old one-shots going to see the light of day?
Like you said, your issue 0.
Oh, okay. Let me make sure I got this comment. Where is this? Well, I don't know why I don't see it on here, but
because she made it on Twitch. I'm getting the Twitch comments too.
Okay, if you're specifically talking about issue 0, the one that I mentioned before, I'm definitely gonna bring that book out. I'm just not a fan of doing a bunch of work and just sitting on it and not releasing it. I definitely, like you said, want to see it come to life and see the light of day. But what I've been kind of wrestling with in my mind is whether I should just drop it as an actual floppy, or if I should, you know, once I get all the issues done and I finish the first basically volume worth of work, I'm wondering if I should take that issue 0 and put it in the graphic novel to kind of like preface the work, and then say, okay, this is going to be a special treat for the people who buy the entire graphic novel if I, let's say, decide to do a Kickstarter or Indiegogo or something like that. I'm trying to decide between that and actually just bringing it out as a floppy. I mean, I'm not sure. And look, I'm open to input. If you want to throw your 2 cents in, I'm more than happy to hear it.
I think you should save it for the Kickstarter and wrap it up into the trade.
That sounds good. I mean,
that's just my opinion. You know, you got to do what you think works for you.
Yeah.
And Victor Daniel says, issue 0, we needs it. He brings up, yeah, we do need issue 0. So Mike Lancet, in case you did not know, while he's rocking his Vigilance T-shirt, which I dig very much.
Hold up. You need to review that?
Yeah. I dig that T-shirt that he's rocking. In case you didn't know, Mike Lancet is a part of the FSK Freestyle Comics family.
Why y'all didn't know
that? And we've been working on a book that has been immaculately written by Victor Dandridge, which is his return to FSK book.
Yeah.
This whole thing just coming together is great. Like we had a lot of plans for the 20th anniversary or whatnot for 20 years in making comic books, and we wanted to get this thing out, which the book is halfway colored and done.
Yeah.
But you know, Danny and I, editor-in-chief Danny Cooper and I, looking at how we wanted to release the books, and we didn't want to just put it out there and have it sit out there. We basically want to make a statement when we start dropping these books, because I'm gonna tell you right now, we got some stuff in the holster. Okay, we got some stuff stored up. So when we drop, we want to drop. And so it's killing us. I think I can speak for everybody. It's killing us to sit here and sit on it because it's so good. But we have shown some pages, some teases, and I will today show you some of the work that Victor Dandridge, Mike Lancet, Veronica Smith, and Danny Cooper have been working on. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm nervous.
Yeah, man. And you know what? You might be pulling up some pages I haven't even seen yet fully colored, man. So I'm kind of, got a little butterflies in my stomach too right now, man.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah.
That double page spread right there. Is that? I don't know. That might be somebody we know. That might be somebody you rocking on a T-shirt or something right there.
So yeah, you got Vigilance in the foreground. It's like, oh, what's up? Y'all didn't know? I'm sorry, y'all didn't know I did superhero work too? You just didn't know about it.
No.
It's not out.
Right. They didn't know. They didn't know at all.
Yeah.
They did not know. I mean, let me give them one more before I put it to bed, man. Let me give them one more before I put it.
Yeah. Go ahead and show that, man.
One more. Oh shoot, what's popping off here? What is this? What's going
Yeah.
on?
Yeah. I mean,
Hey, that's all I'm gonna do.
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna give him one more. Comes in threes. Hold up, because I gotta do this to myself. I'm out here tripping. I'm gonna give you one more, and that's it.
Gear.
Had to give it to myself because I think this first page is gorgeous.
Yeah, man.
This is one of my favorite pages, outright. Like, it's absolutely stunning.
Oh yeah, that's the beginning of the book. Yeah. Okay, so I didn't see this. Veronica Smith, who is a fantastic colorist, for those of you who don't know, because I know, we have a lot of mutual friends on Facebook, but there are a lot of people who are listening in probably, maybe, who are not friends with her on Facebook. We have a colorist, Veronica Smith, who's just, her work is phenomenal. That page, that was just so dark. You can still see everything, but like dark in the tone, like, the imagery of it. Like, she really brings a different layer to the work, no pun intended, with the colors. It's just, I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate working with you guys as a team, because we got you overseeing the project. We got Victor Dandridge writing. And he's like a phenomenal writer, man. Like, I what is it? The Samaritan and The Trouble with Love, and the sequel to Trouble with Love, which is called, I don't know why the name is escaping me at the moment.
Which one?
The sequel to A Trouble with Love. I don't know why I can't think of the name of that.
Yeah, let me help you out, because it's one of my favorite books that Victor Dandridge
right there
has ever published. I got so many. I need to properly join the indie challenge, because I got so many indie books over here. Oh! Never too late, baby.
Never too late. Which is
never
dope.
Too late, baby.
If you guys
get a hold of it, I'm bringing Victor Dandridge back on the show just to discuss this book. And coming out. Yeah, Vic, you're coming back for this.
If you want to be challenged as a reader, and at the same time enjoy every last line in that book, every last panel, then you need to read those books, man. You need to read that. Because Vic and Harold Edge bring the heat when it comes to those books, and then Vic and Ren McKenzie bring the heat when it comes to Samaritan. And so we have him writing. We've got me doing the pencils. We've got John Matthew. John Matthew, is that his name? I think he said he goes by a different name than what he has on Facebook, but he's doing the inks. We got Veronica Smith doing an amazing job with the colors. And then we got Danny Cooper doing some dope edits and doing post-production letters. There's a lot of stuff that I've learned from him working on the Zero event with you guys that I was able to implement in Master of the Edge issues 4 and 5. Because there were some times where I would draw a page and then I would post it in the group chat, and he'd be like, yeah, this is dope. What if we flip this panel around and put this character on this side of the panel, so that way it'll lead the viewer's eye into the next panel, and it will just kind of keep that natural sequential story arc, flowing the way it needs to be flowing. And I'm telling you, man, I'm going to school right now with you guys on this Zero event, man. It's not even funny. I'm learning a lot.
Hey, Danny Cooper don't play with these edits. He started off as the letterer, and he was just catching things at his stage. And it got to a point where we were like, well, we need to have Danny in the forefront, like in the script, editing, so we don't have to go back and do all this stuff. But I'm so excited about getting the Zero event out. Victor said he wants to know what's the thing Mike liked least about working on Zero. Are you asking me, or are you asking Mike? Because we're both Mike. For me, the thing that my least favorite thing on working on Zero event is that I'm kind of like the guy outside. I'm overseeing the project and whatnot, but I didn't write it. I'm not drawing. I'm not doing any letters, and it just looks fantastic. I've always dubbed it our Batman the Animated Series comic. Like, this book looks that good to me, and I cannot wait to put it in people's hands and to get on with the second issue and stuff like that.
And if he is addressing me, then I don't. really don't want to sound like I'm just being a wuss and trying not to answer the question honestly. Like I really did enjoy every last moment of doing that book with you guys, issue 1. I still got to do that cover, but I mean, the only thing, if you're really forcing me to pull something, just out of thin air, then I was like, okay, so I would upload some pages, right? I would upload some pages to the group chat. And then I remember when I first started doing it, they were like, yeah, this is dope. And there were memes all over the place. And then I would keep uploading pages as I would finish them up. I would upload like 2 or 3 at a time. And then y'all be like, yeah, that's what's up, or whatever. And I was like, but if I didn't know a little backstory on you guys, I'd be like, oh, they're not digging my work anymore. But I had heard Mike and Victor talk about how they have this ongoing group message chain or something with like them and Danny and Ren McKenzie. And apparently you guys don't even give compliments. You just like, whatever sucks, you get called out. But if it's dope, we're not going to say anything about it. We're just going to be like, yeah, keep bringing the dopeness. So if I hadn't known that, I would have been like, oh, these dudes are hating on me now. They're not kissing my butt like they're supposed to be. And I'm not really like that. But, but if I didn't know about that, I would be like, oh, man, they're not really digging it. But no, I honestly, that was just me pulling that out of thin air. I mean, I think there was a lot of respect amongst us creators. I had a lot of fun doing that. I can't wait to work on the next couple of issues. I mean, that's what happens when you bring a solid team on, man. I mean, just no drama. Like I just want to be receptive to a lot of the edits that Danny was putting out there. So so that we could have a great product. At the end of the day, I mean, that's what it's about. It's you gotta take ego out of the equation. It's about what are we gonna do to make this book as best as we can within the limits of our skill sets. Just make it as good as you can. And you got to be receptive to stuff, man. You got to be receptive. I mean, if you're an artist, I know artists don't want to hear that, man. But sometimes you got to redraw some stuff, man. You're just gonna have to do it. There's no ifs, ands. You get to a certain point where, like, let's say, like, you're working on a book all by yourself. You might say, I'm not redrawing anything anymore. Or if I'm gonna do that, it's gonna be minimal. Or maybe I'll Photoshop this a little bit. But if you're working with other people, you're trying to bring out a different book, and you might feel like you have something to prove, man. You got to bring your A game. You might have to redraw a page or something, man. You can't publish any garbage.
Right. I was telling Vic and them the whole time while you were drawing the book, man, I got to make sure I step my game up on the next issue hot shot. Lance tried to come in here and take the lead artist job. He put out on this page. I was like, dang, this boy put it out. Hate.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man. It's just having fun. Oh, we got LaShawn Colvin in here too.
LaShawn Colvin in the building.
Yeah, what's up, LaShawn? I'm gonna need you to bring out that book you've been working on, right? Because
That's Beautiful Soldiers.
I saw that last page that was uploaded with shooting the bow and arrow with the fire on it. She was shooting that flaming arrow. Yeah, I'm gonna need that soon.
I did see that one, but she just put out another one where it was a full page splash of old girl unleashing her powers. I was like, LaShawn needs to stop making the parade happen.
Yeah.
Quit. LaShawn just get up in the mornings like, make it rain, art.
Yeah. Beautiful Soldiers is going to be very dope, and I'm looking forward to that. She says, dang, I'm late to the show. It's all good.
We here. I mean, I still got a little bit to go.
Yeah, Vic says no compliments. Yeah. Is there any J-Man says, is there any characters you have scrapped but thinking about introducing them in the near future? Hold on, let me think about this because this book kind of goes back to my childhood. So it's not just a matter of asking myself if there are characters I've scrapped since I started writing this iteration of the story. I got to think about going way back. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of characters that I just never used, and I might want to bring them out of retirement. Mainly villains. But that's the cool thing. When you have a project that you've been working on since you were like a kid or something, you go back and look at some of that old stuff you produced, and you were like, man, I was dumb. This is bad writing. But you're not dumb. You're a lot younger, and you haven't matured, and you don't really know much about the world, so your writing's garbage, and you can't spell worth the crap. So, but anyways, you look at these old villains, these characters that you created, and then, there might be a time period in the middle where you say, this is garbage. I'm not ever going to use this. And then you get to a certain point where you're like, no, I'm a creative enough person to pull this character out of retirement and do something special with him, you know? So, yes, to answer your question, there are quite a few characters that I want to bring out of retirement, and they're mainly villains. But here's the thing. I do need to wrap up the story that I'm telling right now with the lead villain, Kane, Lord of Demezi. He's the main bad guy. I need to wrap that up right now because what I'm doing now, and I've discussed this with a lot of people on Facebook and message threads and on groups and stuff like that, and probably in Victor's unconventional group on Facebook, is right now what I'm working on is a very decompressed form of storytelling. And it might take me, I don't know, 9 or 10 issues to finish this like first volume's worth of work. And then once I'm finished with that, then what I plan on doing next is doing more like kind of one and done stories in each issue so that I can kind of bring in more villains, more characters here and there and swap out some characters and just to kind of keep the mind fresh, because right now what I'm dealing with is I'm drawing a lot of the same environments, the same vehicle designs, the same backgrounds, the same characters. You want to keep yourself fresh as a creator. So, at some point you do have to kind of press the reset button and start just, doing stuff with new characters. And to bring that back around to what you were saying before, I plan on taking a lot of old characters that I didn't use and then bringing them into the story. But they're going to be much more well written, obviously, because a lot of the stuff I came up with was, stuff I did with my brother when we were like, I don't know, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. So, but yes, bringing in new characters.
Man, we're getting mad traffic in here right now, and I ain't mad at it. I gotta back up a little bit. Let's see here. All right, so J-Man said no, they are actually $50 actually, but my work we get some consignment items, and I work on the Navy base, so I don't pay tax. Nice, that's a nice benefit, man. I think the original series, but my favorites are the side characters, the B listed through kind of characters. Okay. Oh, B through D kind of characters. Brad says, have any of you read Janika Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle miniseries? I have not, but I want to, very much so. I got a lot to catch up on those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle books. What about, have you read any of those yet, Mike?
I'm actually looking for the comment right now. Janika. Oh, no. Oh, you're talking about with the yellow bandana. I haven't read that. Yeah. I haven't read that yet. I see a lot of the fan art for it on Instagram. I see a lot of people posting that character. I really don't know anything about her, but I am curious. And then right below that, J-Man says, Raphael is my guy. He reminds me of myself. He is kind of a loner at times and is hard on his brothers at times, but he loves them. He is actually the strongest of them, but lets Leo be the leader. And that shows his true heart of his character. Yeah, I mean, Raph is one of the most necessary elements of the TMNT storytelling design, man. If you don't have Raph, get out of here, man. The story's going to fall apart. I mean, I'm a Leo guy all the way, but you cannot have Turtles without Raph. If you have Turtles without Raph, it's not Turtles. It's not. It just really isn't. Man, how you gonna balance out all of Leonardo's goody two-shoes nonsense? How are you going to balance that out if you don't have Raph? But I do agree with what you're saying. I would say, of all the characters, Raph is the most passionate. Go back. I mean, we don't have to refer to all the original Eastman and Laird comic book comics that I have right here in my long box. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to refer to that. We can just talk about the original 1990 movie. Do you remember how frustrated Raph was when Splinter got kidnapped?
Oh yeah.
You remember him screaming, man? Like that just let me know. It's like, yeah, Leo is the dude who keeps the team together. But Raph is that dude. He's like, you're not going to F with my family. You're not doing that. Or you will get stabbed. Trust me.
Yeah.
That's real. But but I agree with that 100%. Daniel Calvin gives some compliments. He says, looking great. I do appreciate that, Daniel. I just heard about American Dreams. Is that his Kickstarter you guys going on?
Yes, it is.
I've been hearing you guys talk about that. I'm going to have to get on Kickstarter and support, man, because I actually just looked that up. It was like last night or early this morning. I can't remember. Everything's a blur, but I just looked that up and it looks dope. And I actually did a very, very late viewing of the episode where you had him on talking about it. I actually just saw that pop up because I follow you on YouTube and I watched YouTube yesterday. But your stuff is looking dope, Daniel. So I'm going to have to check that out. Let's see. We're going down the comment section.
It says, I vote preface for the graphic novel. Yeah. So she was talking when you're asking about what to do with the zero book for your zero book.
Okay, so you like that idea? Because I mean, I think that's a pretty dope idea. It's right now it's 18 pages of unseen story. I mean, I threw a few panels up on Facebook, but in terms of the whole story, nobody really knows anything about it. Not too many people know about King Scooter's father and his allies back in the day. So I do plan on bringing that out, and more than likely, I'll probably do it in that format. I might add a few more pages to that too, because there is a fight scene in that issue 0, and I would like to extend it a little bit just for more reading pleasure, just to have a little bit more action. And Nick Grievous says, bring back Ullum. So if any of my high school friends are watching, or my middle school friends, there was a character I had in a comic book series that I did when I was in middle school and high school. And I don't know, this might bring a good question onto the chat because it's a little inside joke now, but let's just say, Nick, that, and you know this just as well as anybody else, that comic book series was very raunchy. It was very what you would consider inappropriate for today's standards. So, Mike, you know, people's opinions who I respect, I don't know who all's watching right now. Victor is in here. I want to know, what do you guys think about this? Like, you have a superhero line of stories. Would you ever consider publishing something that's really dark or perverted or has a lot of explicit language or something like that? Do you think that would kind of jeopardize the rest of your titles, or do you think that's something you could actually balance? Now, I know Victor Dandridge has a lot of different stories in his line of books over at Vantage In-House Productions. He's got The Kindergartens, which is about a bunch of young kids with like superpowers, from what I understand. And then you also have The Trouble with Love, which is a superhero story, but it's not told in the fashion of a typical superhero story.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a superhero explaining his infidelity situation to his son. And then you also have The Samaritan, which gets rough. That gets raw. That's my favorite one. I mean, and there's sexual innuendos in there. There's raw language. He pulls no punching with the dialogue. I mean, what do you think about that, Mike? Do you think that with what I have now, I have 4 issues of an ongoing series that is very, very kid-friendly and all ages appropriate. Do you think that it's appropriate for me to bring on a title that's very maybe dark or very explicit, you know, something that might be considered offensive to people? Or is that dangerous? Is that dangerous zone we're walking over right now?
Oh man, I think you can do anything you want to do as long as you got the proper lead into it. I've heard Victor at his table explain, like when he sees a kid pick up The Samaritan, he will explain what that is to the parent and let them know that's probably not a book that you want for your kid. It does have some language in there, some strong adult content or whatnot. I think anything can happen as long as you properly explain it to anybody. You can pull off any type of book that you want. So I don't think you should limit yourself or whatnot.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because there are a lot of stories that I want to get out there, and they might offend some people. There might be some perverted nature to it. There might be some strong language, but hey, man, look, I worked at a retirement home before the job that I have now. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be 100% honest, man. When people are on their deathbed, they're not sitting around and thinking about the stuff that they're not regretting the stuff that they did do. They're regretting the stuff that they didn't do. Mm-hmm. The stuff that they never got a chance to do. And then I feel like if I got to a certain age where, I don't know, maybe I got some serious arthritis pain, I can't draw anymore, God forbid, but, I would hate to get to a point and say, man, I really wanted to put that story out and I never did, because I was afraid that people would be offended by it, shocked by it, not like it because it was, I don't know, uncouth, whatever the word is, I can't think of right now. But
yeah, I think that's the word.
Yeah. So, but I agree with you, man. Creators, if you're out there and you got a story that you want to tell, you should probably tell it, man. Because to be honest, there might be some other people who had a similar story boiling in their head, and they were too afraid to tell that story themselves because they were afraid of how it would be received. by the audience, but you might get the jump on them because you can put that thing out there, and then you might be the new provocative storyteller. Because I don't know if you remember FX when Nip Tuck first came out? When Nip Tuck season 1 first started coming out, that premiere, all they kept talking about was how provocative it was. Provocative. They kept using the word provocative. I never heard the word provocative used so many times in my life. But the show was full of sex, cussing, all kinds of stuff. But you don't just put that stuff out there for the sake of putting sex out there. You know, it has a solid story. You know, you follow it, you enjoy it. I mean, you got to put that stuff out there, man. You got to put that. Don't be afraid. That's basically what I'm getting from this.
Yeah.
Victor says, tell your story. Just keep branding. Just keep your branding honest and open. And then Daniel Calvin says, oh, I know one of these days American Dreams might offend someone, though not in the pervy sense. I worked in a rehab center nursing home of the summer, so I know what you mean too. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's honest. It's honest to God, 100% no BS truth.
Thank you, LaShawn. I'm trying to deliver on this piece. This is the first animal mixed human creature that I have drawn on the show. So this is the first.
Yeah, let's draw some attention to that, man, because I've been looking at you draw and I haven't said a word about this, but this is dope because, you know, if you're a solo creator like me and you're just doing all the stuff, you're just doing all the work yourself, then you're just kind of used to seeing your character drawn one way, the way you draw it. But I mean, this right here, this is a completely different style and this is a completely different take on the character, man, but I'm loving this. I'm loving this, dude. And like, and also I'm kind of, you're not afraid to just go in with those inks. You do like just a rough, right? And then you go straight over that with the inks because I guess I'm more of a cautious illustrator and I'm admiring how bold you're being right now because I've had a lot of friends tell me I need to stop doing this. So what I'll do is I'll do a rough sketch, right? And I might do a red or blue pencil. And then what I'll do after that is I'll go in with an actual like drawing pencil and I'll do the tight lines, the lines that I want to commit to with pencil. And then I'll ink over top of that. So it's a very, very long and tedious process. And I've caught a lot of heat from some of my close friends. They're like, dude, your roughs are enough. Just ink over your roughs. Stop with the double drawing. I was like, but I'm at a point now where I never have gotten over that whole fear of just going straight over your rough pencils, like your rough pencils with ink, man. I mean, I know you're doing digital now, so there's room for, you know, error and correction and stuff like that, but
hey, don't let it fool you. And you've done nothing but just tell Danny how right he is that I'm inking this damn book right now. So thanks a lot for that, Michael Langton. But the only reason I can go at it on it is because it's digital, and I've actually talked about it a couple different times. That my pencil work still is not strong as it is like traditionally on this iPad yet. Because I actually did some pencil work in here and it did take me longer, but the pencil work that I did in here and then went over the inks is much better than me trying to mix it. But Victor, that kind of thing, and Danny says it too, came in my head that I just need to do it. And the more I do it, the faster I'm going to get at it, the better I'm going to get at it, the more I'm going to improve. In my head, I wanted an immediate result now. Like I wanted to immediately be able to transfer how good I can draw on paper and pencil immediately in this iPad. And I've only been drawing an iPad for a year and a half, but I've been drawing all my damn life on paper and pencil. So there's just some things you have to accept. Because there's things that I am irked by right now that I have on this that I'm trying to fix at the same time. But the show has a time limit or whatever, and I'm like, I need to get it done. So it's gonna be whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, this is again, no butt kissing or anything like that. But you know, I know Mike invited me on here so I could talk about my series, but I just want to point out, man, like the Hot Shot series. For those of you guys who don't know Mike Watson, if you're one of my friends who's not mutual friends with Michael Watson has a series called Hot Shot that he's been working on for several years now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and
college.
Man, okay, so I remember when you did the Kickstarter and you had, what was it, the first 8 issues or something? 1 through 9?
Yeah.
In the Kickstarter. So I was kind of familiar with your work because we were friends on Facebook and I'd seen some stuff, but I didn't actually own the books. And I supported the Kickstarter, and I got all these books, and then I'm reading through them. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm liking this. This is dope. And then it gets to one issue where I don't know what happened. Where I don't know if you took a break and then went to the hyperbolic time chamber and then came back out. But there was one point where you came back to, I think it was like issue 7 or it was like 7 or something like that. There was like this interdimensional battle going on. I don't remember what happened, but I was like, dude, this is like some Justice League Destroyer episode. I was like, what is this? I don't understand how you like. That was some shit, man. Like
that is my favorite drawn issue of Hot Shot.
I felt like I was one of the Z fighters. You know what I'm saying? I was one of the Z fighters in Dragon Ball Z during the Android saga when Android 19 thought he was gonna whoop everybody's ass, and then Vegeta just comes out of nowhere and he's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm a Super Saiyan now." I felt like I was one of the Z fighters just looking like, how is this possible? But yeah, I mean, you stepped the game up, and it was crazy, absolutely crazy.
Hey man, I appreciate that very much because that is my favorite issue of Hot Shot that I have ever drawn, and I drew issue 9. Well, I drew issue 8 and I drew issue 9. And issue 9, I took some shortcuts because I was trying to get it done by the deadline to get the book out or whatnot. And people who have bought that issue say, man, issue 9's got the best art. And I'm looking like, no, it doesn't. Issue 7.
Sometimes you look at your series and you'll say there's something in particular that's special about every single issue where you'll say, yeah, I remember this was a point in time where I really stepped my drawing game up, or this is an issue where these two characters really, I focused a lot on kind of like the relationships and stuff like that. So, I mean, you'll look at every issue and you'll find something new that you can say that's the thing that's special about that issue. But yeah, man, I mean, that was dope how you just stepped the game up. But issue 9, to be honest, I thought it was hilarious. Like when Hot Shot rolls up to that one villain at the end, he was like, "Look, man, I got to talk to you about my problems." He's like, "Well, you're going to jail, believe that, but like, I need you to listen before the cops get here because I need somebody to talk to you." But it was funny, man. It's a very enjoyable series. But oh, man, that's looking dope.
Well, I really appreciate that, man. We work hard on that. Victor really put a great foundation down with the first 6 issues in the book, and I feel like I got a really strong team that they want the best of it and they put their best work into it. What Victor has helped establish and what we've been carrying on and what Danny is adding to the table with all his input, with his editorial input, and he's basically like my creative soundboard, and I just bounce ideas off of Danny and vice versa, and we just go in, and I really feel bad for Hot Shot because the next 4 issues they're already written, and it's
yeah, Mike, how many times have you had somebody on who like how many times have you been in the middle of a Team Carla versus Team I Hate Carla battle?
Almost every dang episode. I'm surprised Danny J. Quick ain't in here right now.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, man, like, so I feel like I'm pretty diplomatic in how I feel about Carla. So I don't like her, all right? She really does piss me off. But the thing is, she's necessary to the story. Like I feel like I need Carla there, I need her to piss me off. She's there in the story, and then I'm like, okay, what is this ish that Carla's gonna be on today? Like, what's she gonna be hating on Hot Shot today? I feel like it's almost like when I was watching Breaking Bad, Carla is like the Skylar White of Hot Shot. I'm like, you hating on Walter?
No!
You support the drug dealer. You support the superheroes out there trying to save the city. Maybe you're out there throwing your hate all over the place.
That may be the greatest compliment ever. D. Coop, did you hear that?
Oh, ex-girlfriend. Yeah. You know what? I need her in the story, but I'm hating on her on a level where I really do want Hot Shot to just like pull like Dinah Girl or somebody like that. I'm like, bruh, just get you another one, you know what I'm saying? And then just make Carla jealous. And Mike, keep Carla in the story and just let me see how pissed off she gets for the rest of the series when she sees Hot Shot, getting together with some other like hottie superheroes. That's what I'm looking for. If you can't make that happen, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. But I feel like in my fantasy of what happens next in Hot Shot, that's what happens. But Danny says Carla's the worst. Carla equals Skylar. Oh, and there was a comment before that we missed. J-Man says, in the mainstream comics, Marvel or DC, which book blew your mind away? We're talking about Marvel or DC, and I know I'm gonna catch a ton of heat for this because what you're supposed to say is Marvel.
No, you say what you like.
I've always been a DC guy, and you know what? I think it's because of my age and because when I was younger, I was watching during the whole Saturday morning cartoon era. I was watching Batman the Animated Series, and I know that when I was watching that, it wasn't Saturday morning. I'm just kind of saying that era. But, I was watching Batman the Animated Series after school, and I think it's just the fact that that series and Bruce Timm's artwork and animation style and that entire team had such an influence on my art. And if you really look at a lot of my work, and especially my older stuff, you can see it. You can see Bruce Timm's influence on me. And something about Batman the Animated Series really got me into DC when I was a kid. I mean, I don't claim to be any kind of guru. There are probably so many characters in the DC universe I don't know anything about. I just haven't read. But something about Batman, dude, like I hate to sound so basic on a stream. And you're talking about, oh, Batman, everybody knows who Batman is. Like, you don't get like street cred in the comic book world for saying I like Batman. Everybody does. But something about that character, man.
No, everybody does not like Batman.
That's true. I have seen what the Ren doesn't like him, right?
Yeah, Ren hates him.
I saw a post on that. I was about to say something. I didn't say anything. I was like,
there are people that like Carla. Haley understands Carla. Mike understands the perspective, although she still gets on his nerve. I can't wait for these shorts to come out on the podcast.
Yeah. Hey, man, Carla's okay. I'll just say she's a necessary evil, man. But she's not evil. Yeah, just I need her drama. I need her drama. And I don't want to sound like a teenage high school girl here where I say I need drama in my life, but I need Carla to bring the drama to Hot Shot because I mean Hot Shot needs to have other stuff going on in his life to throw him off. He can't just be saving the city. That's not an interesting story. He can't just be saving the day. No, man. He's got to have outside problems. He's got to have internal struggles. If you don't have that, then all you've got is super friends. That's what you got. Simple as that. But yeah, I guess I was always a DC guy, but I always did like Spider-Man a lot from Marvel. So,
Y'all tripping.
Yeah.
Carla has validity for her anger, and it's all in the books. It's all there.
Okay, this might cause heat, but Batman on a one-on-one fight versus Captain America. Sorry, Cap will win. I'll tell you what, man. I'm not one of these guys who sits out here and says that Batman can beat anybody because he's smarter and he's always prepared. I don't play that game. I'm not really with that. And honestly, I don't necessarily think that Batman always works in that whole Justice League team setting. I always thought that he was always just kind of better on his own. And I might even get more hate for this. I don't even think Robin, like, what was it? They just invented Robin so that they could sell more books to kids or something like that. Bruce Wayne, I think I have an understanding of Bruce Wayne's mentality. Bruce Wayne himself would never endanger a child, right? I mean, he was to be a child who was in danger, been in front of gunfire, stuff like that. He would never actually have a Robin, but the powers that be say, hey, we got to sell some books. You better get the little kids up in here. So I feel like Batman is so much better as a loner. And then once you start getting into all this Justice League crossover stuff, we're like, oh, well, he put on this ring and he could beat Superman. Get out of here with that, man. That's some corny, like, I mean, whatever, you can do whatever you want because it's comics, but I don't really play that game. Like, yeah, I do think, Superman would beat him into the ground. Even if he did have the kryptonite ring, he'd probably find a way. I mean, Captain America would probably whoop his ass. I don't know, I don't know. I do remember a Wizard magazine from my childhood. I was probably like a mid-90s, maybe mid to late 90s, where they had one of those matchups, like a Marvel DC matchup where they had Batman versus Wolverine. And I think they said Batman could go toe-to-toe with him. It's just that Wolverine can regenerate, so Wolverine would just wear him down because he would just keep coming. That might be fair enough, but, fair enough, maybe. I don't know. his bones are made of metal, man. And like in Batman Hush, Batman says himself, the Kevlar and the gloves only protect so much. So I don't even know if he'd make it that far against Wolverine. But I don't want to sound like I'm hating on Batman right now, because that's my boy. And at the end of the day, I do love Batman. It's just, I feel like a lot of these crossovers and the Justice League stuff and him overpowering and all, what was it? I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm really with all that. I just kind of like Batman as Batman in his own little world, Like, I like that.
I feel you. I don't think Batman could beat a lot of people either. That whole mythology of the prep is a little old and dated for me, but I can't admit I do like it when Batman comes through in a well-written comic book, when he does have a plan and it works out and he gets to be a smug asshole. I do enjoy it. I can admit that.
Those are great. I do love his one-liners. I do like anything he says that just kind of disrespects everybody around him. Contrary to what Daniel Calvin just said in the chat, he said, I think Batman needs to stop pushing people away. Fair enough. But there are times where he says some slick shit to people. And I was just like, dude, I was like, what was it? Oh God, let me get this right, because it's been a while since I watched these episodes. I want to say it was Justice League Unlimited season 1. Those last like 4 or 5 episodes, that arc. And then the Justice League, I think Cadmus had planned something out so that they had evacuated their facility, and then Lex Luthor or somebody had taken over the controls of the Javelin up in space, and then they made it so that the Javelin fired down on Earth onto the evacuated Cadmus facility. And then the Justice League, after all them trying to like make up to the media and all this kind of stuff, they said, you know what, we're going to turn ourselves in. And then they turn to Batman, like they're on the monitor with Batman, and they're like, yo, Bruce, the rest of us founding members are in the jet. We're about to go turn ourselves in and go to jail. Are you down? And he's like, yo, that has to be by far the dumbest idea I've ever had, or you've ever had. If you want to clear your own names, then go ahead and do that. Don't sit on the sideline and wait for me to do that. He's like, I'm out. Simple as that. Like, nobody even had a chance to have a comeback line. He just said, I'm out, and just cut the monitor. I was like, I mean, it's just like, that's just how he is. And I love it. I just think it's just that whole, like, he just kind of smug sometimes. But, when you're that dude, you ain't got no powers and you got to work extra hard to keep up with everybody around you. I'm not mad at you for having that type of attitude, man. I'm really not. And it's funny. It's funny. I don't even know if it's supposed to be funny, but it is. Oh, don't get me wrong. A good bat put down is great, especially since you don't expect Batman to crack a joke. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we could have a little short conversation, but are there some characters who should just never crack jokes? Like, I feel like, like maybe there are some characters that just are not supposed to crack jokes at all. Is that a thing? Oh, is Mike muted or am I muted?
I'm muted. Batman should crack a joke once every 20 years.
Yeah. Oh, once every 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, it should be saved for a really good moment, because Batman doesn't crack jokes.
Yeah.
But there was an earlier question, because I just wrapped this bad boy up. So, Lancet, go ahead and tell everybody where they can get your stuff at as we go through the replay. I put the link in the chat. I mean, in the comments. I will do it again here.
Okay. Yeah. I definitely appreciate you posting that link, Mike. So right now I've got Master of the Edge issues 1 through 4 available on Indie Planet. They're all available in both print and digital format. So if you see the link posted on Mike's page or on my page, you can click that link and it'll be easy as 1, 2, 3 to go get that, to get yourself all 4 copies, or whichever ones you want. Again, this is an all ages appropriate story, so you don't have to worry about having this book around your kids or anything like that. You can just have this anywhere, read it anywhere. One of the things I do want to point out is that I didn't get a chance to touch on this, and I'm pretty sure if Sean Mack were here, he'd probably challenge me on this, saying why. I'm gonna ask the question for Sean Mack. If Sean Mack were here, I'm pretty sure he would ask me, why should somebody read your book? Why should somebody read your book? Out of all the books who are you? Okay, I don't claim to be anybody special, but the book itself, I really do think it has something for everybody. And again, like I said before, I don't consider that a catchphrase. This is a story not just about, it's not just a classic tale about good versus evil. Okay. This is a story about youth, betrayal, royalty, adventure, fantasy, romance. I mean, it has something for everybody. I mean, if you want me to go into a little bit more detail, I actually had some reservations about putting out issue 3 because issue 3 didn't have any action in it. It was a very decompressed story, and that entire issue was about two characters, the main character Bear and the princess Lazara, falling in love. That's basically what the entire thing was about. And I said, I don't know, man, after I finished it, I was like, I like the artwork on this book. I feel like I really brought it. But at the end of the day, man, there's no action. And a comic book has to have action, right? I was like, oh, no, not necessarily. I thought about it long and hard. And I said, this book isn't just an action book. It's an adventure fantasy story. And it touches on so many different topics. And you know, even though there are no actual human beings in my story, they're all basically just anthropomorphic animals and alien-looking creatures. There are a lot of scenes and even entire issues that focus a lot on the human emotion and, you know, just humanity in general, like the way we see each other. I mean, issue 3 was just about two characters falling in love. And I could do a screen share right now, show you guys a little preview for issue 3. Might be a spoiler alert. I don't know if you haven't read issue 3 yet. But you know, think about when you were in elementary school, middle school, high school, and you really, really liked somebody. You know, you really were catching feelings, and you were crushing on this person hard, and you would do anything in your power to win over that person's affection. And you're young, and you don't know how to navigate your emotions, and your emotions are all over the place, and you don't know what to do with yourself. You're a mess. You're a wreck. There's no action there. That was all issue 3.
Hey.
And you would have done anything in your power. You would have done something just insanely irrational just to win that person's affection, or at the very least, just to get their attention. That is issue 3. I know you all have been there. All right. And just bear with me. I might do a little bit of a screen share here.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Put up the screen share. Let me get the spoiler alert. But our issue 3 in Hotshot was a quiet issue. It's Hotshot. It's Mike having a conversation with Carla about the whole hiding being a superhero. So those issues are needed. So I absolutely agree with you.
You got the Metal Gear going. So that means I got to bring up the spoiler alert. If I get some issue 3 going, I'm just going to show you some panels from issue 3. Let's just say I'll just show you some panels, and you guys will see what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to skip that one. That's not what I'm looking for. So, you know, so Bear's in the forest. He sees this girl for the first time. And I mean, he's smitten, you know, like, you know, that moment when you got that like puppy love when you're a kid and you just fall in love with somebody. But then I take the story one step further because, you know, especially fellas, I'm talking to you. A lot of times a girl didn't like us back, but when the girl actually shows you that affection back, and this is like that young, innocent, youthful love, you know, this ain't that text messaging, Tinder, Bumble, raw, nasty, that's that horrendous stuff we did. This is that young, innocent, youthful love. I mean, and they're just, this entire issue is just two characters getting to know one another and slowly but surely falling for each other. It's as simple as that. And then when I look back at the work, issue 3, and I really thought about it, I said, I don't know why I had reservations about bringing out this issue. I mean, this is very human. Anybody can relate to this. Anybody. So, you know, I really do think that if you pick up either issue 1, 2, 3, or 4, you will walk away having enjoyed at least one scene of that comic. I guarantee you, even if you like the darkest, most adult books out there, and this is an all ages appropriate book, something in this book is going to resonate with you, and that's a guarantee. That's my word. All right. And I mean, I can leave it at that. I don't have to go on too much more. I don't have to share every single picture I have, but I really do believe in what I just told you guys. But yeah, I mean, I do appreciate Mike pushing the work for me, and I do appreciate you posting that link, man. Like, sharing your platform with me, dude.
No problem at all. Brad wants to know, why did you decide to go with manimals instead of humans?
Oh, you're talking about the whole anthropomorphic. You know, I guess there's really no deep answer to this. It just kind of goes back to the characters that I created with my brother when we were younger. There are other stories that I have where I focus on just, like, normal world human beings, in the real world. But I really wanted to do something with those characters, and there really wasn't no reason behind that when we were kids. We just started drawing this stuff, and I put the stuff away. And I said, well, I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to change this character into a human. And I also thought about changing their names, because I was like, come on, man, a bear named Bear and his best friend is a chicken named Chicken. That's stupid. That's absolutely ridiculous. And then I thought about it. I was like, but is it? I was like, nobody else is doing that. So I was like, why don't I just name him Bear? And that can be like a theme in the book. All these characters have ridiculous names. There's a king. He is an absolute badass. He is a cat with a sword, and he has lived 9 lives. 9 lives. He has had people close to him in his life who have been taken away from him by the villain. And he walks around forever holding this chip on his shoulder, always holding a grudge. You know what his name is? His name is King Scooter. It's the goofiest thing anybody's ever heard. But I don't care what anybody says. It works. It works, baby.
No, it does. It does. And that's the best part about making comics. If you can, and one of my favorite fan rules for Fast and Furious, if you can create a world where we believe in your rules that you set up, then you've succeeded. And I believe in the rules set up by Fast and Furious. They can do anything as long as it's for family, the word family is said, or the word is said within 10 minutes after the action, family.
Yeah.
They can do anything as long as those rules are followed in the movie. So, but I buy it, and your names work. I don't think that they're goofy. I think it works perfectly for the story that we're in. And Danny Cooper just hit you with he classifies your book with bone.
You know what? That's actually not the first time I've heard that. One of my friends says that it does remind him kind of Bone. I don't know if he's talking about with just the art style alone, or if he's talking about the style of storytelling or the pace of it or something like that. But I take that as a compliment, because Jeff Smith's work is amazing. I mean, I don't know how you could ever look at Jeff Smith's work and hate on that. So I mean, I appreciate that. I take that as a compliment 100%. And actually, the other person who said that was one of my friends, Z. He's a member of the Page 14 crew, the guys that the group that I'm affiliated with our art and our publishing and everything. And I would just like to, give them a shout out, because they were kind of like one of the big driving forces that kind of got me to really, light that fire under my ass and really get the book going in 2015. So that would be Aziz Balamani, goes by Z. And there's also Maurice Novembre. There's also Melanie Stevens, Iada Fisher, who's no longer with us, rest in peace. And there's David Mitchell. If you guys want to go back, remember these names in the stream, feel free to look up their work on Instagram or Facebook. I'm pretty sure they'd appreciate a follow, because, they're dope and they inspire me just as much as I inspire them. And I think we're one hell of a team. I think you did. What, did you just pull up another comment there, and then it went away, or I don't know what that was.
Let me see. Oh man, that's dumb. My little screens are getting mixed up. I'm trying to open up stuff for the closing.
Oh no, you're fine. I mean, if you can't find it, it's no worries, man. But
J-Man said, this sounds exactly like Iron Man 3 movie. Most general audience hated it because there wasn't enough Iron Man. But since they're not comic book readers, I told them there's a lot of Iron Man comics when he isn't in the armor. And I actually enjoyed that. I actually enjoyed Iron Man 3. It doesn't bother me. I know it upsets a lot of other people.
Okay, so I guess he's talking to me on the low key then. He must be referring to me, because I was one of those Iron Man 3 haters. I'm not going to lie. I went to go see it in theaters. And I see what you're saying. Like, when you look back at it, Iron Man 3 has its place, because if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've seen Spider-Man Homecoming, but I want to say Tony Stark says something along the lines of, what was it? Peter Parker's like complaining about, I need the suit. He's like, I need that suit. I need that suit. And then Tony Stark's like, he's like, I'm nothing without the suit. And Tony Stark's like, if you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it. And then in Iron Man 3, Tony Stark proved that he could be somebody without that suit. So it was kind of like a retrospective thing. It was like, I didn't appreciate that movie when it came out. I was like, man, this is garbage. This is slow. This is a Marvel movie. Get this out of here, man. He's not even in the suit. I swear Pepper Potts spends more time in the Iron Man suit than Iron Man does himself. But then when Spider-Man Homecoming came out, I was like, okay, so that film was like a necessary film. I get it now. So I didn't get it at first, but then it kind of resonated with me when it was just that one line, man, just that one line, and it made Iron Man 3 that much more relevant.
Hey, it's a great line. Like I said, I enjoy it, but I'm also I'm a fan of the MCU's Tony Stark. I like Robert Downey Jr. as him. I think he's hilarious. I think he really makes that role work for him. It's one that he was born to play. But we are coming up on the witching hour. I think we've had a very great episode. I've uploaded artwork to the Google Drive. When we get off of here, I will give you the link so you can download it. Color that, do whatever you want with that, man. That's your piece for you to keep and do whatnot. I'm going to go ahead and close it. First, I want to say thank everybody for tuning into the show, man. We had a great audience today. Great participation. And let me see here. I'm going to go ahead and stop that. And so we're going to close out here with a couple things that I want you guys to be interested in. Yes, it is that screen. All right. So, as always, check out those Freestyle Comics books. As you can see from that desktop screensaver, I have a variety of characters under the label, and we at FSK believe anybody can be epic. We have titles such as Hotshot, Vigilance, Heroes International, Emerald Quest, The Cypher, soon to be released Zero Event, The Source Book, Taijutsu Gates, soon to be coming out, The Wolf, Basement of Doom, Hotshot and Friends. We got a lot of stuff. So please check us out at shortfusemediagroup.com. Master of the Edge. Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong keyboard. Master of the Edge, created and produced by Mike Lancet. I want you to understand and feel those words. This man has come up with the idea. He has written it. He has laid it out. He has drawn it. He has inked it. He has colored it. He has lettered it. He has edited it. He has put it together in post, and he has shipped it off. He is doing everything on this title. So he has created and produced this book, Master of the Edge. We are on the 4th issue. It's out and available now. Go check that out. Go cop that from Indie Planet. The link is in the comments or whatnot. And we have a 0 issue that he hasn't even released yet that he's going to release with his Kickstarter for the wrap-up trade for the entire thing, which is going to be great. I am part of Ecker Connect's Outrageous Virtual Summer Camp. If you need something to do for your kiddos for 3 hours out the day, come send them to me. Hit up that phone number, 614-398-4194. If you're in the Columbus, Ohio area and you live in Franklin County, we can get you qualified for this program to get your kids in there learning about academics, social emotional learning, making comic books, learning about all types of good things, music, dance, working out, all in the virtual environment. You ain't got to go nowhere but to the computer, to the laptop. And they're already on these things anyway, so we might as well be teaching them something while they're on there. Oh,
you're a hardworking man, Mike. Yeah. You have 75 different jobs, and you are always willing to help people on top of that. And you're a family man, you know what I'm saying, from what I understand. So, I just want to say before we close this thing out, man, I really do appreciate you having me on because I know your time is precious. Time is money. And, you could be working on penciling some hot shot pages right now or doing some work for Freestyle Comics, overseeing some books or doing some publishing work over there at Short Fuse. But, you allowed me onto your platform. It's very gracious, and I sincerely appreciate that, man. I really do.
It is not a problem at all, man. I really appreciate your work, and I see your effort out here, and I'm a fan of it. So I can't wait for my books to come in the mail so I can binge read it, like I said. If you've enjoyed this episode of Chat and Draw, we are doing the digital version, which you just saw today for Mike Lancet. I did a digital black and white version. There's a link on the shortfusemediagroup.com's website where you can buy that one to get you instantly on the show if you're a creator with a comic book or maybe a business to promote. But we also have the color option which is also on there as well, and that's new for season 2. And you should check out my Patreon page, as we have some pretty cool things on there, as most epic art as well. And then finally, the good, the bad, nerdy coming at you Friday with one hell of an episode. Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comics, is going to be guest starring. We're going to talk about Anthony Mackie, actually being Captain America. And if you want to know what that means, tune into the show Friday at 6 p.m. There's a new Gambit fan movie out, and it looks amazing. And voice actors standing up for Black Lives Matter, amongst other things that we're going to be talking about on that show with my co-host Christina, and Vic will be in the guest chair with us today, on that day. So be sure to check it out. We're going to have us a good time. All right, well, that's all she wrote. I want to thank everybody for tuning in here. I appreciate it so much. Give us a follow. Check us out. Let's get those banners here. ShortFuseMediaGroup.com. Get all your digital comics from us there, because you can get those for free for buying the physical books. And we have over 25 different titles that you can check out on that website, because it's cool. Because it's cool. I mean, what else do you want? But give me a follow on Instagram. Art of Mike Watson on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And I'm going to shut up now. I want to thank Mike Lancet for being on here. Really appreciate this guy. He's great. Check out his book. And we are out of here, everybody.